Hello and welcome back into our deep dive into learning more about the Cisco Meraki cloud managed IT platforms and how they are transforming enterprise tech operations across the world. In the previous episode, and I urge you to catch that one, we learned about the Cisco Meraki platform and how by converging network, cybersecurity, IoT, analytics, and true end-to-end visibility, Meraki was able to simplify the day 0, day 1, day 2 ops for all their customers. Today, I'm fascinated to know how Cisco Meraki has been able to revitalize the cloud experience with this platform. And to talk to us about it, we have Ashish Vatal, who's the Managing Director for the Public Sector and Commercial segments here at Cisco India. And a lot of his work sees him working with the government, both at the state and the central level, and also with private enterprises in helping them adopt newer solutions and architecture. And I'm going to look forward to getting a holistic understanding about the Cisco Meraki experience today. Hey, Ashish, thanks for plugging in.
Thanks, Ashwin.
Ashish, when we speak about digital transformation, really accelerated digitization, right? The cloud has moved from, just a good to have to a must have. And at Cisco Meraki, you are in the business of helping your customers managing their cloud infra better. How is the market perceiving cloud managed infrastructure today?
Thanks, Ashwin, for hosting this, and a very interesting question from a technology and the current situation that we are in from that point of view. I think if you look at it, we know for sure that customers are adopting cloud experiences. If you look at it, we have a lot of data that analysts come out with. And in some cases, it could be private, and in some cases, it could be public cloud. And a lot of infrastructure today is also going towards a managed cloud infrastructure environment. And obviously, there is no doubt in my mind that there is an accelerated movement that is happening on cloud, and it's driving that demand for cloud consumption. And regardless of, from where the services are getting delivered. In my view, and we are looking at it from a lens. What are the drivers that are pushing this? There are three big drivers that are pushing this, in my view. One is obviously application modernization. I think the first change that is happening right now is the applications are getting modernized. In earlier times, applications were the problem for cloud adoption. They were not cloud ready, but increasingly we are seeing that interactions, if they need to be digital, you need new and modern applications. So due to that, the application area is being transformed, and obviously COVID-19 has just accelerated that pace from a quick adoption perspective. And also, the fact is that we were left with no choice but to move in that direction. The second one, which happened was obviously that from a work perspective, practically overnight, I think the majority of workforce shifted to a remote work. And if you look at it, many of this workforce probably may not come and return to office ever. But whoever comes to office or campus needs to massively transform the organization from a hybrid work perspective. I think the future of work will be hybrid. And the third one, which I feel is contributing to this whole accelerated digitization, is also the security element. I mean, before COVID, security was a concern, and obviously from an adoption of cloud-based infrastructure, a lot of people had these myths that, when you move to cloud, security is a problem and so on and so forth. But as I said just now that, we were left with no choice. People were pushed to move the infrastructure onto cloud. So the new distributed workforce and new distributed application meant that security has to move on cloud. There's no way that, you can secure environments on-prem when your entire infrastructure is on cloud. And obviously, we are looking at security, which needs to be deployed everywhere, and everything needs to be secure, from network to, say, a device, to, say, a user. And obviously, cloud security allows us to probably do it at scale and with greater speed and efficiency. And a lot of infrastructure, if you look at it, in the last couple of years has got developed around these security components, which was not there. And the conversations were not there. For example, zero trust, SASE, these kind of conversations were not happening maybe 3 years back or 4 years back, which are happening today. We are talking about a composite security platform conversation, then only a firewall conversation, for example. So I think these are three main reasons why there is a digital acceleration happening. And I think Meraki is the pivot from a Cisco perspective, which is moving the customers, and we are seeing the customers moving more and more towards Meraki, and we can see in the numbers as well as we go into multiple quarters going down the line.
Ashish, I'm going to deep dive into security very, very soon. It's a big thing to chat about. But looking at Meraki, right, managed cloud infrastructure, this is about managing better and really breathing easy. It's all about a better experience. And this is something that Meraki has been very, very vocal about. But when we're talking about better experience, Ashish, I need some help here, please. Are we talking about a better UX? What exactly is the core idea out here?
So look at this. In today's scenario, customers are spending huge amount of money on going digital, which was not the case maybe 5 years back. And obviously, when you're going digital, experience will become one of the critical areas as far as selection of any technology is concerned. Now, from a Meraki perspective, if you look at it, the cloud managed technologies like Meraki, which provide the experience that the customer is looking for, with lots of tools that have got built into Meraki. I mean, machine learning, AI, ML based analytics, or the dashboard, which is part of the whole solution that we offer to the customers. Obviously, our mission is to free all the IT users, for example, from all the mundane job that they are, for example, doing, and obviously invest that time, effort, energy into some important business functions which help contribute better business outcomes in our view. We also make it obviously easy for the IT users, because when you have everything on just a click of button, whether it is adding new users, whether it is moving a policy across from a centralized dashboard, management dashboard, or to manage the entire network infrastructure through a interactive UX, obviously it helps the users on the ground to contribute better and be much more productive than they are right now. The second piece is there is also a scenario which COVID has created. I mean, if you look at it, before COVID, everybody used to be in a confined environment of office and campus, and any dip in performance, for example, and experience was just a phone call away. I mean, the IT guy used to come on the desk, and however the big issue could be, but it used to be resolved in the office and there and then itself. Now look at the scenario. We are having users logging in from home environments, from God knows where. I mean, not a sanitized, secure environment of an office, for example. Now, if you have to compare a secure office environment versus a home user environment, there'll be a lot of components which will be provided in office but may not be available at home. But the user on ground will need the same kind of experience that is privy to when he's working in the office. Otherwise, the whole environment goes for a toss. So experience becomes the key. And how quickly we can identify the issue, troubleshoot, rectify is what customers want today. I think from a Meraki perspective, this is the basic foundation on which Meraki tools have been built. For example, Meraki has an insight tool, which is an infrastructure analytics tool delivered from cloud to provide application insights on performance of the application, making change management smoother, pinpointing the network issues so that IT can turn around quickly to bring down the mean time to repair. Also, I think we would also have analysis of the data available to ensure that the same issue is not repeated. Obviously, experience also comes out of the same, that you don't repeat the same wrong experience from an issue. And Meraki entire portfolio helps us do that. We'll continue to add feature sets and everything else will continue to happen so that, better experience is sort of provided to the customers. That's what the entire mission is all about.
Fascinating, a better experience. And talking about our life transformation over the last couple of years, right? Something that was definitely not easy or intuitive was the kind of readjustment that we have all had to make to accommodate, right? Remote working and everything that entailed. Let's go into this rabbit hole a little more. How have you been able to adopt the Meraki platform to all the challenges of remote working and hybrid spaces, or so to speak?
I think, Ashwin, the pandemic has, if you look at the pandemic, if the pandemic has taught us anything, then it is that work is not a place you go to. Work can be done from anywhere. That's what we have seen in the last couple of years. And our customers, if you look at it, will have more and more employees than ever before who will be working remotely. No doubt about that. It is estimated, some of the analysts are also saying that going forward, even if we are back to normal, for example, I think 98% of the meetings will have at least one person joining remotely, which was not the case earlier, very clearly. And which is actually a big change. I think that means the customers will need to use the most reliable, secure, and productive technology to empower the teams in every kind of scenario, in my view. Obviously, Meraki has taken a big leap in transforming the work experience in the past couple of years. We have added so many facets to the feature sets, and while working, people are working from home. I still remember one of the customers where we had to set up the entire remote working solution, which was centrally managed, and the team was working from home. The IT team was working from home. We will continue to, I think, focus on smart spaces as employees start coming back to office, return to office starts. I think things have sort of stabilized a bit now, and hopefully we should be returning back in next couple of months. And obviously multiple solutions. And for example, a Meraki camera solution, which monitors social distancing, entry to access to the offices, or IoT sensors, for example, which can manage the thermal screening at the entry of the office, for example. The other piece which we look from a hybrid work environment perspective, I think there are three areas to consider. One, obviously, you will need to create those spaces for the employees. Second, employees would expect that we provide the safe environment through intervention of technology. And the third one is, obviously, there will be remote workers who will be working remotely. How do you finally secure the remote working environment? So I think the first one obviously will entail contactless engagement or tracking of assets or personalized communication. And the second will be like vehicle and people detection, thermal screening, alarm system, or contract tracing, motion alerts. So for getting all the above, and obviously remote worker, if you look at it, the secure access and seamless provisioning for new and existing employees with sort of automated policy enforcement. So for getting all the above together, there needs to be a technology which will help us do the same. And Meraki, in my view, is the answer. We do everything that I just explained, and which is the need of the hour from a hybrid perspective. And this is something which is not going to go away, Ashwin. It's going to continue. And we are going to improve on the feature sets and the deployment engagements on the ground with the customers.
And as somebody who's pretty crazy about technology, I'm only waiting to see what's in store over the next decade. I think there's something that you said in the beginning about, a sea change in the world of security, right? From firewalls to a composite security infra. Now, this is dramatic in every sense of the word. Now, earlier, I remember security was, one firewall in a server rack, but now it's the very foundation on which everything else is built on. And let's talk about this. This is something everyone is likely to ask you at the word go when you talk to them about the innovation and solutions coming out from CISCO Meraki. What's your underlying security approach to the CISCO Meraki solution?
I think if you look at it in an increasingly distributed and hybrid world where apps, workloads are moving closer to users, devices, And we are look at today, 4 billion devices connected on the internet. Gartner says by 2023, we'll have 9 billion devices. So obviously we'll have to make 9 billion devices secure if we have to work, in a sane fashion. I think today the teams are facing some common challenges, which is how to securely enable the growing base of these users, these SaaS applications, without adding any complexity and without compromising on experience and performance. And obviously users are working remotely and they need the same level of performance and experience, which probably they get from a central location. So from a strategy perspective, if you look at it, wherever we work or whichever device we work from, there needs to be a protected environment. Whether it's malware attacks or phishing attacks or unauthorized access, etc., we need a protected environment to work. And these requests or requirements from customers will be ever changing. I mean, because the way things are moving at a very fast pace, we need to also evolve from a security perspective. Gone are the days, as you said, that firewall and email security and web security were 3 different components that were used. Today, the customer is talking about a security platform conversation. Today, customer is talking about a secure SD-WAN, for example. Today, a customer is talking about threat grid and incident response and flow control and many other security components. Now, from a Meraki perspective, security is the DNA of the solution. And obviously it is cloud managed, right from communication with cloud and other network infrastructure devices. We have multiple platforms, but on our MX platform, for example, we provide the UTM security functionality. Now, this is not an isolation. We also integrate it with the largest Cisco picture because we have a huge portfolio as far. We have almost 16, 17 products on the security solution architecture side of things. I mean, very good integration on Cisco Snort for signatures or incident response or Cisco AMP for endpoints and Cisco Umbrella, for example, which again are security, cloud security based solutions. So from that perspective, Meraki with the cloud offering that we have, again on the experience side, customers will feel that whenever they go ahead with the solution around Meraki security, they can sleep in peace. In my view, they don't need to worry about the infrastructure being attacked from different sources, as I just pointed out.
Indeed, sleep easy and breathe easy. And I'm almost running out of time here, Ashish. And I have one last thing that I want to prod you on. And I'm going to take a racehorse analogy out here. You have tech that is moving at one speed, and then you have your customers who are trying to ensure that they're on the cutting edge of tech to stay relevant and competitive, and really trying to stay as close as possible to the horse that's out there in the front. And while they're doing that, they're looking at you so that they are positioned for success. What are you envisioning for the next decade, and what should your customers be expecting from you?
See, as you know, currently, if you look at it, Meraki is having a very unique offering in the marketplace. I mean, obviously, we are providing complete cloud managed infrastructure solution, and it is across wireless or switching or SD-WAN and security components. Apart from that, we also get into these components like gateways and IoT sensors and cameras, again, which are cloud managed, single pane of glass. And Meraki dashboarding, which obviously delivers some experience on a single pane of glass without any, anything that needs to be done on ground. You can just push the policies onto the devices from one central location. COVID obviously has accelerated the adoption, and obviously technology also is something which is moving at a very fast pace, as you rightly pointed out. I think from our perspective, ever evolving these use cases that I just referred in my earlier question, answering that question, whether it's smart spaces or safe environment or hybrid workforce or remote workforce, that will sort of have flexibility for everyone. We are basically looking at a vision from an IT convergence perspective between security, networking, intelligence, and machine learning and IoT, for example. And in the longer run, I think what is going to happen is we will have a simple, secure, intelligent platform. And my sense is Meraki is poised to deliver that. We will continue to grow as far as the technology piece is concerned. We'll continue to evolve new feature sets getting accommodated. But for doing all that stuff, if you look at it, these are the drivers. Now, effectively from a customer standpoint, what is customer going to look at? Customer is going to look at centralized management. Customer is going to look at automation. Customer is going to look at proactive assurance, for example. Customer obviously is going to look at security, and customer is also looking at open platform. Now, all these drivers is something which Meraki is already doing right now as we speak. We already are doing centralized management, automation, assurance, security, and open platform. Now, it may happen that, tomorrow when we do a session like this, bots would be asking a question and bots would be answering a question, for all you know. But I think things will keep on evolving, and we will be at the forefront of getting these technologies across to the customer and also getting it implemented well.
Ashish, I'd love to have our bots chatting very soon. And it's going to be a very interesting decade, Ashish. Not a moment to put that popcorn down, especially with bots coming into the play and taking away our little conversation. And, you've just put that little seed of thought into my head. There's really so much to look forward to. And especially that nitro boost that tech has received over the past couple of years, and where this can all catapult us to. Ashish, very good catching up with you, understanding your thoughts on really digital foundation, freeing up mind space and workspace to focus on other things, simplifying manageability, transforming smart spaces, and of course, enabling digital transformation on that bedrock of security. It's been a delight. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to look forward to catching up with you again very, very soon. Thanks again, Ashish.
Thank you, Ashwin. And hopefully we'll do a physical discussion, not a virtual one.
Or make sure that bots come in our place, which is also a good thing.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.